The moon has risen over the water, and the beach is waiting for you. You stand at the edge of the sand, where the path from the dunes meets the shore, and you take in the scene with a slow breath. The sky is a deep, soft blue. Not black, but the kind of blue that holds the moon and the stars without swallowing them. The sand stretches out in both directions, pale and silver in the moonlight. And the sea rolls in with a sound that has been the same for thousands of years. You have nowhere else to be tonight. No one is calling you. The beach is quiet, and the world has slowed down enough to let you step into it without hurry. You pull your sweater a little closer and feel the cool night air on your face. It carries the smell of salt and sand, and something clean that you cannot name. Perhaps the wind from far out at sea, or perhaps simply the night itself. You have been looking forward to this moment all day, or perhaps for many days. You have carried the idea of this beach with you, the promise of sand and moon and silence. And now that you are here, no camera, no phone, no list of things to do, only you and the night and the sea. The moon casts no shadow that frightens you. The waves make no sound that alarms you. Everything here is gentle. Everything here is safe. You step onto the sand under your feet. It is cool and soft, and it gives way just enough to hold your weight without sinking. You pause for a moment and wiggle your toes, feeling the grains slip between them, and you smile without meaning to. It is a small thing, sand under your feet, but it is also everything. It is the reason you came here. It is the feeling of being grounded, of being present, of being nowhere else but here. You walk slowly toward the water, and with each step you feel the grains shift and settle, as if the beach is making room for you. Your footsteps make almost no sound. The sand absorbs them, soft and forgiving, and behind you the faint marks you leave are already beginning to blur in the wind. You like that. You like the idea that the beach will not hold on to your footprints forever, that it will smooth them away and make the shore new again for the next person who walks here, or for the next wave that washes over the sand. The moonlight lays a wide path in front of you, and you follow it without thinking, drawn by the gentle pull of the sea. To your left, the dunes rise in soft, dark shapes, and the tall grass that grows on them whispers in the breeze. To your right, the ocean stretches out to the horizon, where the sky and the water meet in a line so thin it seems to disappear. You are alone, but you do not feel alone. You feel held by the sand, by the moon, by the steady rhythm of the waves. You walk a little farther, and the sand beneath your feet changes from dry and soft to slightly damp, then to wet and firm where the last high wave reached. You like the way the texture changes. It reminds you that the beach is alive, that the water shakes it and leaves it and shapes it again in a cycle that has no beginning and no end. You look back once and see your footprints in the sand, already softening at the edges as the wind and the moisture begin to smooth them away. You do not need your steps to last forever. You are glad they will disappear. That is the way of the beach. Nothing is permanent, and nothing needs to be. Waves, soft wind, distant sea. You reach the place where the sand is wet, where the last wave has left a thin, dark line of moisture. You stop and look down. The wet sand shines under the moon. And when you press your foot into it, the impression fills slowly with water and fades as the next wave slides in. You stand there for a long moment, feeling the cool water wash over your feet and then pull back. Again and again, in a rhythm that never rushes. The water is cold at first, but only for a second. Then your skin adjusts, and the cold becomes cool, and the cool becomes refreshing, and you find yourself wanting to stand there forever, feeling the waves come and go. You take a step deeper, and the water reaches your ankles. You take another step, and it reaches your calves. You stop there. You do not need to go any deeper. You only need to feel the pull of the water around your legs, the way it tugs at you when the wave recedes, as if the sea is inviting you to follow it. And then, the way it pushes gently against you when it dives, as if the sea, I am here. I am here. I am. The sound of the waves is the only sound that matters now. It is a low, steady rush, the pull of the water. The sigh of foam, the soft crash as each wave meets the shore. You close your eyes and let the sound fill your ear. It does not demand your attention. It simply exists, like your breath. When you open your eyes again, you see the reflection of the moon on the water. A long, trembling path of light that stretches from the horizon almost to your feet. You could walk into it if you wanted to. You could step into that silver road and feel the water around your ankle. For now, you simply look at it, and the sight is enough. You stand in the same spot for several minutes, or perhaps longer. The waves keep coming. Each one is a little different, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, sometimes with more foam, sometimes with less. But the rhythm is always the same. You find that you can predict the next wave almost before it arrives. You feel it in your body, in the way your breath has settled into the same tempo as the sea. You are no longer separate from the beach. You are part of it, and the beach is part of you. A small crab scuttles past your feet, then disappears into a hole in the sand. You do not startle. You simply watch it go, and you feel a quiet gratitude for the fact that life continues here, even in the middle of the night. That the beach is not empty, only still. You take another step, and then another, and you follow the curve of the shore. As you walk, you notice how the sound of the waves changes depending on where you are. When you are close to the water, the sound is loud and full, a constant rush and pull that fills your ears. When you move a little higher on the sand, the sound softens. and you hear the individual waves more clearly, one after another, each with its own shape and rhythm. When you pause and stand very still, you notice that you can hear the foam hissing as it slides back into the sea, and the tiny clicks of small stones tumbling in the shallow water, and the almost silent sigh of the wind over the dunes. The beach is not one sound. The beach is 1,000 small sounds layered together into something that feels like silence, but is actually full of life. You walk toward a place where the dunes rise a little higher, and the moonlight seems to gather in a soft pool on the sand. There, you find a patch of dry sand that is still warm from the day, and you decide to sit for a while. You have been walking for a long time, or perhaps not long at all. You have lost track, and your body is ready to rest. You lower yourself onto the sand and feel it hold you. And you look out at the moon and the sea and the endless, gentle night waves, soft wind, night sea you walk on, following the curve of the shore. Every steps, you see something in the sand, a shell, a smooth stone, a piece of driftwood worn soft by the sea. You bend down once and pick up a small shell. It is cool in your palm, and when you turn it over, you see that it is whole, no cracks, no chips, as if the ocean has given it to you in perfect condition. You hold it for a moment, then set it back on the sand. You do not need to keep it. You only needed to touch it, to feel its coolness and its smoothness, to know that it is part of this night. You walk on, and the sand continues to offer small treasures. Another shell, a stone that fits in the curve of your hand, a feather from a gull, and you notice each one without needing to possess it. You pick up the stone and hold it for a moment. It is smooth and flat, worn by years of waves, and it fits in your palm as if it was made for it. You run your thumb over its surface and feel the coolness, the slight weight, the silence of something that has been tumbled by the sea for longer than you have been alive. Then you set it down again, in a spot where the next wave might reach it and carry it a little farther down the shore. You like the idea that the stone has a journey, that it is not finished moving, that the sea is still shaping it, that nothing on this beach is static or stuck. You find a piece of driftwood, pale and smooth, and you run your hand along its length. It has no sharp edges. The sea has taken them all away. You think of the tree it once was, perhaps on a cliff somewhere, perhaps in a forest that reached down to the shore. And you think of how it came to be here, in this form, on this night. Every object on the beach has a story. You do not need to know the story. You only need to touch it, to acknowledge it, to let it be part of the night. The air's cool and clean, and every breath feels like a gift. You fill your lungs slowly and let the air out even more slowly. And you notice that your breath is beginning to match the rhythm of the waves. In, like the water drawing back. Out, like the wave returning to the shore. You do not force it. It simply happens, and the beach holds you in its quiet. You walk on, and now you notice the sound of your own footsteps, the soft crunch of dry sand. The different sound when you step on wet sand, the almost silence when you walk on the firm, packed strip left by the last wave. You could walk for miles tonight. The beach seems to go on forever in both directions, and the moon would follow you wherever you went. You are not tired. You are not in a hurry. You are simply here, with the shells and the stones, and the endless, gentle motion of the sea. In the distance, you see a light, perhaps from a house on the dunes, perhaps from a boat far out on the water. It does not disturb the darkness. It only adds a single point of warmth to the night, a reminder that somewhere someone else is awake, or perhaps asleep, in a room that looks out at this same moon and the same sea. You feel connected to that unknown person, not through words or touch, but simply through the shared experience of this night. You are not the only one who has ever stood on a beach under the moon. You are not the only one who has ever needed peace. And that thought, too, is a comfort. Waves, soft wind, night after a while. You find a place to sit, a low dune, or a flat rock, or simply a patch of dry sand a little above the tide line. You sit down and draw your knees up, or you stretch your legs out in front of you. It does not matter. What matters is that you are here, and the moon is above you, and the sea is in front of you, and the night is wrapped around you like a soft blanket. You look at the moon. It is full, or nearly full, and its light is not harsh or cold. It is gentle, silver, almost warm, in the way it touches the sand and the water. You think of how many people have sat on beaches under this same moon, and how many more will sit here long after you are gone. The thought is not sad, it's peaceful. It reminds you that you are part of something large and slow and kind. Something that does not need you to do anything except be here. You think of the people you love, where they are tonight, whether they are awake or asleep, whether they have ever stood on a beach under the moon like this. You send them a silent wish, not a prayer, not a demand, just a gentle thought, like a breath sent out over the water. You hope they are safe. You hope they have moments of peace too, and then you let the thought go, and you return to the sand and the moon and the sound of the waves. The beach does not ask you to hold on to anything. The beach only asks you to be here now. You notice how your body feels, the weight of your arms, the curve of your spine, the way your legs are bent or stretched in front of you. You notice that you are not holding any tension anywhere. Your face is soft. Your hands are open. Your breath is slow and even, and it moves through you like a wave, rising, falling, rising again. You have given yourself permission to do nothing. You have given yourself permission to be still. And in that stillness, you feel something you have not felt in a long time. The simple, uncomplicated presence of being alive. You let your eyes close again, and you listen. The waves are still there. The wind is still there. The sand is still beneath you. And the moon is still above you. And nothing has changed except that you have sunk a little deeper into the moment. You think of the word enough. How often in life we feel that we do not have enough time, enough rest, enough peace. Here on the beach, there is enough. There's enough time. There is enough silence. There is enough beauty to fill you and still have more left over. You don't need to take it with you. You only need to feel it now. And trust that the feeling will remain somewhere inside you, like a well you can return to when the world becomes too loud or too fast. You listen to the waves again. You feel the sand under your hands, dry where you sit, still holding a little of the day's warmth. You look at the stars, scattered above the water like tiny patient lights, and you let your mind go quiet. There's nothing to solve tonight, nothing to decide, only the moon and the sea and the sand. And you sit for a long time without moving. You feel the sand beneath you, how it supports your weight, how it holds the shape of your body, how it is cool on the surface, but still warm underneath from the sun left hours ago. You run your fingers through it and let the grain slip through your hand, and you think of how many years it took for the sea to grind the rocks into this softness. Nothing here is rushed. Everything here has taken the time it needed, and you can take the time you need to. You look up at the stars. They are not as bright as the moon. They are there. Hundreds of them, perhaps thousands, scattered across the sky like salt on dark cloth. You do not try to count them. You do not try to name the constellations. You simply let them be there, and you let yourself be here. And the distance between you and the stars feels neither too great nor too small. It simply is. Waves, soft wind, silence. You stay where you are for a long time. You do not know how long, and you do not need to know. Tana slowed down on this beach. The waves keep coming. The moon keeps shining. The sand keeps holding you, and you keep breathing, and that is enough. Sometimes a wave is a little larger than the others, and the foam reaches a little farther up the shore, and you watch it slide back into the sea. Sometimes a breeze passes over the water, and the reflection of the moon shivers and breaks into 1,000 small pieces of light, then settles again into a single path. You notice these small changes without clinging to them. They are part of the night. They are part of the peace. You think of nothing in particular, or rather, you think of many small things. The shell you held, the feel of the water on your feet, the sound of the wind in the dunes. But none of these thoughts demand anything from you. They simply pass through your mind like gentle visitors, and then they leave, and you are left with the same quiet you had before. You notice that your body has relaxed completely. Your shoulders are no longer holding tension. Your jaw is loose. Your hands are open, resting on the sand or on your knees. And they are not grasping anything. You have given the beach your weight, and the beach has given you its stillness in return. You could sit here until the moon sets and the sun begins to rise. You could sit here until the tide changes and the water reaches your feet again. There's no rule that says you have to leave. There is only the gentle understanding that when you are ready, you will stand up and walk on, and the beach will still be here for you the next time you need it. A wave rolls in and stops just short of where you sit. The foam spreads across the sand like a thin, white lace and slides back into the sea. You watch it go, and you think of how many waves have come and gone on this shore. Millions, billions, and how each one was unique and each one was the same. The sea does not tire. The sea does not rush. The sea simply continues, and in its continuation, there's a kind of promise. You think about time, how it seems to move differently on the beach. In the rest of your life, time might feel like it is rushing, or dragging, or slipping away. Here, time feels like it has expanded. There is enough of it. There is more than enough. You could sit here for an hour or for 5 minutes, and it would not matter, because the beach does not measure time in minutes or hours. The beach measures time in waves, and the waves never run out. You feel a deep gratitude for the moon, for the sand, for the fact that you have a body that can walk and sit and feel, for the fact that you have a mind that can be quiet. You do not list the things you are grateful for. You simply feel the gratitude as a warmth in your chest, a softening in your shoulders, a sense that something is right, even if you cannot name it. Then you let that feeling go too. You do not need to hold on to it. You only needed to feel it once, and now it is part of you, the same way the salt air is part of your skin. Waves, very soft wind. Night when you are ready, you stand up. You brush the sand from your hands and your clothes, and you take one more look at the moon and the sea. Then you turn and begin to walk back along the shore, the same way you came. Your steps are slow. There is no hurry. The beach will still be here when you leave, and the moon will still be shining, and the waves will still be rolling in, and nothing will be lost. As you walk, you notice the small things again. The shells, the stones, the way the sand changes from wet to dry under your feet. You notice the sound of your footsteps, soft and almost silent, and the way it blends with the sound of the waves. You notice that your breath is still slow, still even, still in rhythm with the sea. You have taken the beach with you. It is in your lungs, in your skin, in the quiet place behind your eyes. You think of the crab you saw, and the shell you held, and the driftwood you touched, and the way the moon made a path of light on the water. You think of the feeling of the waves on your ankles, and the sound of your footsteps on the sand, and the smell of the salt air. These memories are not heavy. They are light, like feathers, like foam, and they float in your mind without demanding anything. You will carry them into your sleep, and perhaps into your dreams. And when you wake, they will still be there. A little fainter, perhaps, but still present, still gentle, still yours. The dunes rise beside you again, and the path that led you here appears in the moonlight. You could take it now and go back to wherever you came from. A room, a house, a car parked in the dark, but you are in no rush. You walk a little farther, and then a little farther still, and the night holds you the whole time. You pass the place where you found the shell, and you wonder if it is still there, or if the waves have taken it back. It does not matter. You have the memory of it. And the coolness, the smoothness, the small, perfect shape in your palm. And that is enough. The beach has given you many gifts tonight. The sound of the waves, the sight of the moon, the feel of the sand, the smell of the salt air. You do not need to carry any of them away in your pockets. You carry them in your body, in your breath. The wind picks up for a moment, and you feel it on your face and in your hair. It is cool, but not cold, and it carries the smell of the sea more strongly now, as if it has traveled a long way to reach you. You close your eyes and let the wind pass over you. And when you open them again, the moon is still there, the waves are still there, and you are still walking, one slow step at a time, along the edge of the world. Waves, soft wind, footsteps on sand. You stop once more at the water's edge. You let the waves wash over your feet again. Cool, gentle, endless, and you look out at the moon on the horizon. You say nothing. You need to say nothing. The beach does not require words. It only requires that you were here, that you listened, that you breathed, and that you allowed yourself to be still. You take one more slow breath, and you feel the salt air fill your chest. You feel the weight of the moon on the water, and the weight of the stars in the sky, and the weight of the sand beneath your feet. None of it is heavy. All of it is gentle. And when you finally turn away from the sea and walk toward the path, you carry that gentleness with you. You walk back across the dry sand, and your footsteps are a little slower now, a little heavier with the peace you have got. You look back once more at the moon and the water, and you say goodbye not with words, but with a long, slow breath. A breath that carries your gratitude out over the sand and into the night. And you step onto the path that leads away from the beach, and the dunes rise on either side of you, and the sound of the waves grows fainter with each step. You do not feel that you are leaving something behind. You feel that you are taking it with you. The beach is not a place you visited. The beach is a place that has become part of you, and you will carry it into whatever comes next. Into the room, into the bed, into the sleep that is waiting for you. Waves, soft wind, night later. Whether it is minutes or hours, you do not know. You find yourself in a warm place. Perhaps you have returned to a room by the sea, with a window that looks out at the water. Perhaps you are in a bed with soft blankets and a pillow that holds your head like a pair of caring hands. Perhaps you are still on the beach in your mind, and the warm place is simply the feeling of safety that the night has given you. Whatever the case, you are lying down now. You are still. Your eyes are closed, or they are half closed, and the image of the moonlit beach is still with you. The silver sand, the path of light on the water, the sound of the waves. You do not need to hold on to it. It will stay on its own. It has become part of you, the same way the salt air has become part of your skin, and the rhythm of the waves has become part of your breath. Perhaps there is a window open, and you can still hear the sea, a faint, steady murmur that reaches you like a lullaby from a great distance. Perhaps the room is completely silent, and the only sound is the sound of your own breathing, slow and even, like the waves you left behind. Either way, you are safe. Either way, you are held. The blankets are soft. Pillow is soft. The weight of the day, if there was any, has been left on the beach, washed away by the waves and carried out to sea. You think of the path of moonlight on the water, and you imagine it stretching from the horizon to your bed, as if the sea has followed you home. You think of the sand, cool and silver, under your feet, and you feel as if you are still standing there, even as you lie in this warm, dark room. There is no conflict between the two places. There is only the merging of peace, of rest, of the moon, beach with the quiet of your own body. Soft wind, very distant waves, silence you breathe slowly. Each breath is like a small wave, rising, falling, returning to the shore of your body. You feel your shoulders relax. You feel your hands uncurl. You feel the weight of the day, if there was any, slip away like water into sand. In your mind, you are still walking on the beach. The moon is still above you. The sea is still in front of you. But now, you are not walking toward anything or away from anything. You are simply there in the middle of the silver light, and the waves are washing over your feet, and the night is holding you, and there is nothing else you need to do. Your thoughts grow softer. They drift like foam on the water. Here for a moment, then gone, then here again in a different form. You do not follow them. You let them go. The beach has taught you that tonight, nothing needs to be held. Nothing needs to be solved. Everything can simply be. You feel the weight of the blankets on your body. Not heavy, but present, like a hand resting on your shoulder. You feel the weight of the pillow under your head, supporting you, holding you, asking nothing of you. You feel the weight of the night, the same night that was over the beach, the same moon that was in the sky. And you know that it is still there, still shining, still gentle, even though your eyes are closed and you can no longer see. Your breath continues to slow. Your heart continues to calm. The image of the beach grows softer in your mind. The edges blur. The colors fade into silver and blue and gray, and the sound of the waves becomes one with the sound of your blood in your ears. You are not trying to fall asleep. You are simply allowing sleep to come, the way you allowed the waves to wash over your feet, the way you allowed the moon to shine on your face. There is no effort required. There is only surrender. Gentle, slow, complete. Your body grows heavier in the best way. The way that means you are finally letting go. Your arms rest at your sides. Your legs are still. Your face is smooth. And your jaw is loose. And your eyelids have closed completely now. Behind them, the moon is still shining. The sand is still silver. The waves are still rolling in, one after another, in a rhythm that will never end. You are not on the beach anymore. And yet, you are. You are in this room, in this bed, in this moment. And you are also in the moonlight, in the salt air, in the sound of the sea. The two places have merged. There is no difference between them. There is only rest and peace, and the gentle certainty that the world will still be there when you wait. Let the waves go. Let the moon go. Let the sand and the shells and the path of light on the water go. They are not lost. They are simply resting, the same way you are resting now. And when you wake, whether in an hour or in the morning, you can return to them anytime. The beach will still be there. The moon will still be there. The peace will still be there. For now, sleep is coming. It is coming the way the waves come, slowly, gently, without force. You do not need to reach for it. You only need to allow it. Let your breath slow a little more. Let your body sink a little deeper into the bed. Let the image of the moonlit beach fade into a soft silver blur. And then let the blur fade into nothing. You have done well today. You have walked on the sand. You have stood in the waves. You have sat under the moon and let the night hold you. You have done nothing that was required of you, and you have done everything that was needed, which was simply to be present, to be gentle with yourself, to allow the world to be beautiful without asking anything in return. That is enough. That is more than enough. And now you may rest. The beach will still be there tomorrow. The moon will rise again. The waves will keep their rhythm. But tonight, your only job is to sleep, to let your body repair, to let your mind rest, to let the peace you found on the sand spread through every cell of you, until there is no difference between the beach and your dreams. You have had a long walk on a peaceful shore. You have listened to the sea and stood under the moon and felt the sand beneath your feet. Now you may rest. The stars will watch over the water. The waves will keep their rhythm. And you may drift as gently as a shell carried by the tide into the deep and quiet sleep that has been waiting for you all along. Your last conscious thought, if you have one, might be of the moon, or of the sand, or of the sound of the waves, or it might be of nothing at all. Either way, you are ready. You have walked on the beach. You have been still under the stars. You have let the night hold you. Now, you may let the sleep hold you too. Good night.